Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Diane. First thing I want to do is thank all of you that have viewed my videos and those that have subscribed. I can't thank you enough. I appreciate it, making me feel like maybe I do have some interest out there. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. We ended last time with getting our cover done on our journal, and I'm trying to really stick with the basics here. So now we're going to do our signatures, and we did start with one group of signatures, and then I've gone ahead and put together three more with the one that we did in the last video, because this journal should hold 4 groups of signatures, and I would normally do some decorating of these pages before I would put them in the journal, but I think sticking to the basics and getting those signatures put in here first, and then we'll start doing all our decorating, our creativity, our making ephemera. There's a word that's going to come up a lot. That's all those fun little things that we put in a journal. And so I thought we would just go ahead and get these signatures put in. I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, when I gather my signatures, like I showed in my last video, I just have several pages here of different paper, different kinds of paper, and I put an envelope in here there in a few spots. I wanted to show you, this was a piece of just construction scrapbooking paper that was a little bigger, and I folded it up here at the bottom. That actually will just make a pocket in it, and kind of makes it kind of nice to have a ready-made pocket. And I put that on to be the first page of my journal here. So once you get them all put together, you want to take a bone folder. This would be a good thing to invest in, because this really does help with getting your pages nice and folded, not all your folds nice. You go through and get all those folds down nice in there. And here's another group of pages I did, another one with pocket there, and I just press down, make sure I got my folds nice and tight. Now remember, you can use any paper that you have. Go to the thrift store and grab some of their paper that they're selling. Just lined paper, notebook paper. We'll talk about tea-dyed paper, coffee-dyed paper later in some other videos, but some of these are just little scraps that I have found along the way. I do a lot of thrift shopping and get a lot of paper that way, so that's a good way to get it. So anyway, once you've got your signatures all put together, you're going to want, we're going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Now there's different ways of putting signatures in your journal, but this is the one that I like to use, the easiest one that I've always used, and I think it holds up pretty well. So let me tell you the basics for it. First of all, of course, you're going to need something that you can punch some holes with. Now there are all kinds of tools out there. There's some crocodile hole punches, and I'll introduce you to some of those tools in some other videos, but I want to, like I said, I'm trying to stay basic here. So you can use a needle if you have a needle, something sharp that you can stick and make some holes in your journal, and then you also need to be able to make holes in your pages. So in your signatures. So let's, you'll need that, and then you're going to need some kind of a strong string. This is actually just a craft cord. I got a big bag of craft cord with all different colors. I can't even remember where I got this, but it has lots in there and to do lots of journals. And I actually picked out this yellow one because I thought it kind of went well with my cover here. So you'll need that, and you will need a needle, and I get just a big needle. It's got a big eye. It's easy to thread through that. You'll need that, and you want a ruler. What I'm going to do is I measure the width of my spine here, and then I just kind of eyeball this. If you want to measure this way, you can do that if you're wanting to get it perfect, but I don't worry about that. I just eyeball it, and I kind of measure that center, and it's about 2 inches. So I just put little dots, just eyeballing it so that they're about even across there for the top. You're gonna have to have 3 sets of these, and so I'm gonna put one in the middle, a line of them in the middle, and then come down to the bottom here and just kind of eyeball it again. But you do want them to be pretty even aligned, but you don't want crooked lines, crooked threads on the outside. So anyway, there you go. So they're marked. Then you're going to want to take your signature pages. Take one set of your signature pages and set them about where you're going to want, a 1/4 of an inch, the top and the bottom. And you want to mark where you're going to be putting a hole in your signature pages, right where the holes are in your spine. So they're going to line up. I hope that makes sense. And then I'm going to put these all together. And let's line them up here. Let's just go this way. And then, you're going to have some pages that are wider than others, but that's not a problem. That's okay. Doesn't have to be perfect, though they don't have to be perfect. And then I'm just going to make a mark right along there where we're going to put the holes for the signatures to go into that we're gonna punch the holes in here. So just marking those on that edge there so that they're going to be all the same in the same spot. Okay, so you see that I've got those all marked with my pencil, and now I'm going to put my holes in my journal here. I've got me this little foam piece. You need to get you something to put underneath your journal that you can poke into. You don't want to poke into your finger, and yeah, that would hurt. So then you want to put holes in these with your pokey tool, whatever you've got that you're using, and this works pretty well. You just got to punch it in there. Just punch it in there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so got your 4. Not perfectly straight, but that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. But you kind of want these lined up. So we're going to go in down here and put holes in the next. Another thing before I forget, you want to make sure that you're clearing your little ring fastener here. And sometimes it doesn't want to go through that fabric real well, but you'll be able to see from this side that your needle will go in okay. So let's go ahead and punch these. Okay. Two, three, four. Okay, we got those, and now we're going to do these bottom ones here. One, two, three, four. Now, it's a little tricky with that little punch, but there are other, like I said, there's other tools, and I'll show those to you later that make that be a lot easier. It looked like I struggled, but it's a little tough at first. Anyway, we got those done. So now we're gonna go ahead and put some holes in our signatures. So I'm gonna set this aside, bring our signatures in. I'm gonna use my little pad here, and I'm going to open my signatures to the center, and I've got these great big paper clips that I like to use to hold my signatures kind of in place when I'm punching them, but you can use these clips, you can just use regular paper clips, whatever works for you. I'm going to turn it around to where I can see my marks, and I'm going to take my awl, and I'm going to go ahead and punch holes all through all those pages on the first set of signatures. So I'm just going to punch holes right through all those pages, right in those, in that center spot where the fold is. Sometimes it's a struggle to get that center one, but it'll get there. There we go. And one more here. All right. So I got those. I'm going to go ahead and get my next set of signatures. And I think I told you that I did about 10 pages total. Gotta find my center here. And that's up to you. You can do 8 pages. You can do 6 pages. You don't have to have that many pages in there. It depending on how thick you want your journal to be. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and punch a hole in where I marked that one. Punch a hole here where I marked this one. Punch a hole here. Okay. Those don't have to be real big holes because you're just putting a needle through it. So that's done. Okay. Next set. Find the center there. Paper clips on there. Turn it over. you can hear that it's popping right through there, and this little foam pad really helps with this. And then one more right here. Okay. All right, one more group. Get to the center. Looks like that's my center, and it's a smaller page there. That's okay. I hope these videos are helping you get through the basics of these. I'm hoping to get into more fun and creative stuff after we get through the basic part of putting a junk journal together. Not that this part isn't fun, but I enjoy the decorating and the creating and the adding the pockets and that kind of stuff more. So okay, so got all my parts here all punched. All my signatures are punched. My journal is punched. Now we're going to thread our needle. And remember, this is called a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And you're going to need about 3 lengths, lengths of your widths. Yeah, it's the widths of your book here. 3 widths of your book on this thread. Now there's other threads out there, and the best thing to do, make sure have more is better than less, so make sure that you have plenty, but just make sure you have a good strong thread. This here is a popular one that's used also, and I've used this in a lot of them. I got this in in red and white, and you can get these in different colors, and it's a real strong thread too. So anyway, now I'm going to thread our needle. Squeeze that through there. And take my, let's see, I wonder if I should do the back pages first. So I'm going to do the first group along here first. So I'm going to go ahead and stick my paper clip on there just to keep my pages kind of in line there. And the first thing you want to do is you want to go through the middle. So you go through the middle, go through that hole, bring your needle through, and go ahead and put it in the middle of your journal. And you can see it coming this side, and sometimes it wants to be a little, well, that came through okay. Sometimes when it sticks, get yourself a little pair of these help if you need to pull your needle through. So you go through the center there, and then you come pull your thread through there, and you come up to the top and go through that top hole. And it's a little tricky to find in the fabric, but you can pull it through, and you can see it coming through there, and then you bring it through the top part of your pages. And you pull that through. Now you bring this all the way down to the bottom, and you go through your hole down there at the bottom. Sometimes you got to separate your papers to see them, to see that hole. Make sure you're getting in there. And then you go in that bottom hole there. Pull it through. Be sure not to pull your thread all the way, and you got to have a little bit here to tie off. Now you're going to bring and go through the center again with your thread. Try not to catch your other thread there, because then that will cause it to split, and you don't want your threads to be splitting. And so you go in there and you go back up through that center, and then you pull it on through. Now you want one side over here of this center thread and one side over here. Pull it kind of snug. Check and make sure that your thread's lined up here pretty good. Looks good. Now you can take your needle out, and you're just going to tie this off. I'm going to do over, under, whoops. Tie that snug. The other way, tie a little knot there, and then I like to put a little bow. Sometimes you can leave these hanging to put a dangle on in there if you want. And if you want that bow to stay in there, I just kind of double knot that like that. Okay? And then we just cut these off. Okay, and that is putting your first set of signatures in there. And now we're going to do the same thing with the rest of the signatures. So we're going to go ahead and take our next group of signatures. Get some more thread. I want to do 3 times the width. Grab my needle. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and remember we go in the center. That quite is not quite in the center, my hole there. So I might go ahead and just put it in the center with my needle. I'm going to put it in the center here of our journal. Pull it through. Okay. Come up to the top and look for that. It's kind of hard to see. It's right there. Stick that in there. Well, it's giving me a problem. Come on. If you have a problem like that, just stick your awl back through there and make sure you can see where your needle's supposed to go. There we go. Now it's coming in. Okay, now bring that through. 3 pages. Put it in that hole. Sometimes you might have to split your pages here and make sure you're getting those holes in the right place, getting those in the right places, the needle in the right places. That's not to fight with me right now, of course. get that through there. There we go. Grab that thread. We don't want that thread to lose that. That will come down. And we're going to put it in that there. Let's see, coming up. My thread pulled a little bit there. Make sure I have plenty. And we're going to come back up through the center again. Oops. You can see it coming through, but it doesn't want to come through. There we go. Well, I'm having a time seeing these myself because of the angle I'm at. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right, now. Okay, now we need to get this on both either side of this. You can see I said something about not wanting to split that thread, and I think I did kind of grab that other thread there, but I'm not gonna worry too much about that with this one. Looks like it's straight on this side. Might need to tug it a little bit here, get it nice and taut there. Okay. Okay. Tie a bow. There we go. And tie that off. Okay, 2 done. Let's go with the next one. Let's see if I can do this a little smoother this time. Okay, real quickly. Get my thread. 2, 3. It's been fun doing these videos, and I'm looking forward to hearing more comments and learning more from all of you out there. Almost seems like sometimes with your paper shifts, you'll find out your holes don't line up, but well, that one's pretty good. Okay, so we'll go through the center. You can see it's coming through this side. Maybe that much. Go through the top here. Okay, see if you're going to work with me this time. Okay, got it in. Okay. Now we're going to come down here. I know it's might be kind of hard to see what I'm doing there. I'm not real great at videoing yet, but you got the basic idea of what we're doing here. Now we're going to come up through the center here again. Try not to fray that thread. Go through there. One more. There we go. Pull that through. Make sure one on one side, one on the other side. Make it snug. And believe me, these will hold really well. These hold the pages really well. And look at the back there. It looks like they're lined up pretty well. They're tight, nice and taut. Now we're going to tie a knot here. I try to go one way and then go the other way so it's nice and taut. And make a bow. Okay, and now one more. And then we'll have our signatures all in there. Okay, I'm going to do that. Get my thread. One, two, three. Thread my needle. Okay. We'll do the center. Do the center on the journal. Through the top here. Go through over here on the other side of the journal so you can see that you're coming through, and now I'm coming right through where it's supposed to be. Then I'm going to find my hole in my pages here. I think I'm struggling with trying to make sure that you guys can see what's going on, so that pull that through. Then we come down through those pages. Okay. Through all those pages. There we go. And through the last hole in the journal. Pull it up through. And then come back up through the center here. You want to make sure that you're getting right to the center, and then you go through that. Oops. There we go. And then you want to go through those signature, those holes in the signature. Pull them on up through. Through. Make sure you got one on one side here, one of your threads on one side, and the other one on the other other side. Check back here. It looks like it's good there. Okay. Now we're going to tie it off. Now, I hope that gave you kind of the idea of how to do that 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And it should hold your pages in there really well. I have not had any problem with any of my journals. I'll go back and double knot those bows. I like to have that bow kind of double knotted so it doesn't come out. And turn that off. So, whew, got through that. Now, if you'll look at your journal there, you'll see you've got all your pages in there. There's your pamphlet stitch. They all look nice and even. Maybe not the straightest, but that's okay. No rules here. Those pages are held in there really well. So that gives you the idea of how to do that part of it. So now we're going to start on my next videos are going to be decorating up these pages, embellishing, doing all kinds of fun stuff with these pages. We're going to start adding some lace. We're going to make pockets, and we're going to do the front of our journal and fix it up. If you remember the one that I started with that I showed you, this one here has a little embellishments on the front for you to decorate it up. And then we have all this lace and all these fun tabs and things, and that's what we're going to do in the next videos. So I hope that this was clear enough for you to understand how to do that 3-hole pamphlet stitch and put your signatures in your journal. And maybe some of you will say, okay, I'm not waiting, I'm going to start doing my fun stuff. But we'll be learning some ephemera and learning how to make some little clusters and pockets and all those fun things. So stay tuned for my next video, and I hope you enjoyed this one. And thanks again for all your support out there. Bye-bye.